Hi, my name's Anita. Welcome to our traveling yoga series. We're in Bodega Bay, right on the beach today. We're going to do a really fun, heated yoga class, so we'll get you moving and get the blood flowing. This is probably a little bit more advanced class, but I will give you options as always for anything, any of the poses that we do that are more advanced so that you can take them down a level or you can bring them up a level depending on your level of practice and what your mood is for that day, because our moods change from day to day and our yoga practice should too. So we're going to start standing to create some heat in the body and keep the heat and the blood flowing in the body, and then we'll move down to the floor and finish with a little bit of peaceful meditation on the beach. So thanks for joining me. I don't have a mat out here, but make sure that you have a mat at home because you want to make sure your feet don't slip out from underneath you. That's what those mats are designed to do. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in Tadasana today, so just start to settle in and give your toes a little wiggle forward and back and side to side. And your toes may feel a little better in this pose, in or facing out, whatever you're comfortable with. And then really reach out and give them a little wriggle, those toes. Balance the weight evenly from the heels to the toes. And on a big exhale, just relax the shoulders down and back so you're rotating the palms of the hands right out in front of you. And we're going to sink that chin down just to open up the back side of the neck. And let's start here with the eyes closed and soft. Start to soften your body from the top down, relaxing across the forehead and the corners of the eyes, the cheekbones, the jawline. And we're going to try to keep a nose breathing through the rest of your practice today, but if you need to open up the mouth to let the breath flow freely, go ahead and do that. You always want to keep the breath moving and flowing. Sometimes if it's your first couple of yoga classes, or even as we get later on into some of the more challenging series like today, we tend to hold our breath or tighten up when we get into some of those poses. So make sure you try to keep that breath flowing. And as you work through your yoga practice today, we're going to practice a little bit of Ujjayi breath. I call it Darth Vader breath as you're working in some of the standing and more challenging poses. I want you to imagine your nose right in the middle of your throat, and we're just going to practice that here a few times. So you can almost feel the air, the breath coming in through the throat and out through the throat, almost like a little massage in the throat. And what that Ujjayi breathing does, that nice deep throat breathing does, is when you're in some of the poses like the balancing poses or the forward poses, plank poses, all of those challenging poses, it just helps to engage the whole front side of your body so that you're not just using the back side to support your body weight. Also draws the breath in and engages your entire breathing system from the throat all the way down through the belly and incorporates all those areas. So let's just give a little shoulder wiggle here, head and neck, and drop the chin and take a few breaths, soften through the hips and the knees. Find your Tadasana pose. We're going to start drawing the hands into the heart center. And let's take a few deep belly breaths as you inhale, come up through center, reach. Arms up overhead, and as you exhale, just swing those arms around, drop the chin down. So on the inhale, you're going to draw chin all the way up to the sky, opening up through the throat and the chest and the heart center. And if you want to, you can pucker up and kiss the sky on your way up, and that will open up through the throat. Exercise those lips a little bit. I'm just going to take a few more breaths. Reach out through the fingertips on the inhale, and as you exhale, drop the chin down to the chest. And when you're ready on an exhale, we're going to take a soft bend in the knees, bring the hands into the chest, a deep belly breath. Inhale, reach all the way up, and as you exhale, this time start to come down into a half squat. Just shake the hands and shoulders out as you come down. Just release everything. Inhale as you rise, exhale as you sink. Nice deep breaths. We're going to take a deep belly breath. Inhale, let's draw those arms all the way up overhead this time. Reach and stretch, and then exhale into a nice side stretch. You can roll that top shoulder open and look up towards the sky. And inhale back to the center. Reach and extend all the way up tall, and exhale into that other side. And again, you can roll that top shoulder up and open. And we're going to take a deep belly breath. Inhale, reach all the way up this time. And as you exhale, take a soft bend in the knees and swing those hands back behind. And let's open up and get a nice stretch of the chest and shoulders. You're just interlacing the hands across the rear end, just like that, resting them. And then as you come into a deeper stretch, just bring the hands right off the rear end. We're going to take a few deep belly breaths. Inhale, reach, reach, reach in the stretch. And exhale, you can drop the chin down. And as you inhale, reach up into that stretch, you can draw that chin all the way up overhead. And exhale, release and sink the chin down. And this time, let's come up and you can walk those feet out a little bit wider if you like. Sink into the hips and knees and just give a little sway to the sides. Little wiggle, come back to the center. Always feel free to wiggle around in your poses. Almost like a self-guided massage. You want to find your points of tension, especially in the head and the neck and the shoulders. We get into these poses and take your time. Exhale, bring the hands out front. We're just going to press forward to the palms of the hands, and it doesn't matter which hand is in front. Just take a deep belly breath. On the inhale, reach and stretch out into those hands, and as you exhale, drop that chin down to the chest. And again, feel free to give a little wiggle to the sides. And back to the center, take a deep belly breath. Inhale up. And exhale, and you're just going to sink down into a half squat. Shake the hands out. Few more deep belly breaths here, and when you're ready on the exhale, we're going to start just drawing the hands to the heart center. And I'm going to work us through our standing series. We're going to do a moon salutation side to side, just one time, really slow, and get into the poses and build up some heat, and then we'll do it a few times after that. So take a deep belly breath, inhale up through center, and exhale, release, drop the chin, inhale up through center, and exhale and release. When you're ready on an exhale, you're going to start with the hands on the heart center. Soft bend in the knees, inhale up. And as you exhale, just going to walk those feet out nice and wide apart. Give the toes a little wiggle, take a deep belly breath. Inhale up, and exhale the hands out to the sides. You're going to come to one side into a warrior two. So just sinking down into the lunge. We're going to come into the left side. So if you're facing me, you're opposite of me. Just relax the shoulders down the spine. Take a few breaths here. And you can give the chest a little wiggle forward and back and find your spot. Fingertips a little wiggle forward and back. Just relaxing the shoulders down. Give the toes a little wiggle, settle in. And if you want to add a little challenge on the inhale, you're going to straighten out through that front leg. And on the exhale, sink into that lunge. And inhale, just come up and straighten through that leg. And exhale, and as you sink into that lunge, you want that left knee to be behind the toe. So as you come down into that lunge, it goes right over the top of that ankle. And just take a few breaths up and down. And when you're ready, find that warrior two. Relax the shoulders. And we're going to take a deep belly breath. Inhale and draw that left arm up to the sky. Reach and stretch, coming up. Opening up through the side of the torso on that left side. And we're going to add a little movement here as you exhale. You're going to release that left elbow to the thigh and swing that right arm around. Reach and extend, open up to the fingertips. So you're inhaling as you rise and exhaling as you sink. Inhale and rise. And exhale and sink. Inhale and rise. And when you're ready on an exhale, we're going to sink down. And you can either go elbow to the thigh or you can go fingertips all the way to the floor and come down a little deeper into that lunge. And that top hand, we're just going to open it up and roll open. Just a few deep belly breaths here. Starting to create some heat in the body. You want to try to open and roll that top shoulder up. You can always come up here, rest an elbow to the thigh. A few more deep belly breaths. Inhale, lengthen, and we're going to press all the way up. This walk, a little challenging in the sand, but walk that back foot in a few steps. You're going to turn the torso towards that front leg and take those hands back behind. Interlace the fingertips, open up through the chest, and as you exhale, just hinge at the hips. You're going to start to feel that stretch all the way down the back side of that left leg. Inhale, open up, and exhale, sink. You can bring the hands up, the small of the back a little deeper. Shoulders square to that front leg. And when you're ready, we're just going to reach out and extend into an airplane pose here, starting to create some heat in the upper body as well. And just give a little wiggle. And when you're ready, take a soft bend in the knee, walk that back foot in, and you're going to come up on to that leg, that front leg, that left leg coming into a jetted airplane. Now you can do a few things with those hands. You can bring them back behind to modify. You can keep them outside. or you can bring them up overhead and add a little bit more challenge and extension through the spine. Now this is where that Ujjayi breath really comes in handy here. So you don't bobble and drop a toe, which you will, as I just did. So take a few breaths. Imagining that nose right in the middle of the throat. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, relax the shoulders. And on your next big exhale, we're just going to sink back into that lunge and come all the way up. And as you exhale, come into a forward fold. Just drop the head down. Let the head hang down and give a little wiggle to the sides. And this is a great pose to just hang out in here, start to let those hips unfold. You created some heat in that lower body, so we're going to open up. Backside, inner thighs, the hamstring, drop the head down. And just shake the head out, loosen it up, give it a little wiggle side to side. Settling back to the center. I'm going to come up into the fingertips and start to walk the feet in heels and toes, and then come into a nice deep squat, deep belly breath. Inhale up and exhale, come into that squat. Inhale up and exhale, the hands come back into the heart center. And you can walk those feet in a little closer right here to take your resting breath. And we're just going to come up through center and exhale and release. Give the toes a little wiggle. We're going to move into that other side. So we're going to just take one or two more deep belly breaths. Remember to back off in this pose or make it a little easier. This is your resting pose. You want to try to reestablish your natural depth of breath here. And when you're ready to begin, we're going to draw the hands to the heart center. And then turning this time to your right side and just draw those arms out to the side, coming into that warrior two. So you're anchoring that left heel, and just make sure that front knee, that right knee is behind the toe, and then just reach out. And again, you can give a little wiggle to the sides. Settling in the center. Exhale, relax the shoulders down the spine. And then again, if you want to add that movement, inhale, straighten up through that front leg, that right leg, and exhale into your lunge. And with each exhale, as you come down into that lunge, just think about coming a little deeper. So you're going to feel that stretch across the back side and that strength in the lower body. And whenever you're ready on an exhale, come down in to that warrior pose. Just give a little wiggle forward and back. We're going to add that movement on the inhale. The arm goes up, and just stay here for a breath or two. Really reach and stretch and open up. And then when you're ready, add that movement as you exhale, elbow to the thigh. Left arm comes around, and then reach and stretch to that left side. And then just add the movement up and down. Inhale as you rise, and exhale and sink. And inhale and raise up. And exhale and sink, and start to sink a little closer to the floor as you come down. And when you're ready on an exhale, you can either release that right elbow to the thigh or fingertips to the floor and just reach and stretch. And you can bring that arm overhead or up top, opening up to the shoulder. A few more deep belly breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to come up and open up that chest. So you're going to press the sole of that right foot, squeeze the rear end. And you can always walk the back foot in a few steps, turning your shoulder towards that right leg. Relax the shoulders. You're going to bring the hand back behind and come into that nice chest expansion. And on an exhale, just hinge forward at that hip. So you're going to try to keep that spine nice and long. You're just hinging, and you'll feel that stretch all the way down the back side right here. A few deep belly breaths. And remember here, you can come into that airplane pose, and you can start right here, and you can just stay right here in this version of airplane pose. Or if you like to, come up onto that right leg, just swing that left foot behind, and you can bring the hands back. That will relax to the shoulders. You can extend the arms out. That will add a little more challenge in the pose. And the most challenging would be to extend those arms overhead. Reach and open up. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, lengthen and reach. You can give that back foot a little wiggle. Relaxing the shoulders. Take a deep belly breath. Inhale, extend. And on your exhale, we're going to come down with that left foot and back to the center. Just come into a forward fold. Reach all the way out as you come down. Drop the head and neck. And for a little bit different perspective in this pose, you can turn the fingertips back and start to walk the hands back towards your back wall, bending into the elbows, dropping the head and neck. Just let the heels sink out, the toes come in. I'm going to take a few deep belly breaths here. You can give a little wiggle and a sway to the sides. Let the head hang down. So we're going to start to come down a little bit lower to the floor and start to get some nice deep stretches in those hips and the knees that we just worked out in that Standing Moon series. So when you're ready, you're going to turn and walk to your left side. And you're going to come into a nice deep lunge. Just give a rock forward and back. Open up into the feet, the soles of the feet, and settle in. Take a few deep belly breaths. And in this pose, you want to try to draw the weight out of the fingertips as much as you can, lengthen through the spine as you exhale, sink into that nice deep lunge. Just going to take 1 or 2 more deep belly breaths here. Try to feel both the strength and the flexibility in the pose, the bounce between the two. And just make sure that left knee is behind the toe, right over the top of the ankle. When you're ready on an exhale, we're going to drop the back knee down that right knee and just curl the toe under. And you can walk the hands to that inner thigh, that left leg. And as you exhale, sink forward. Now, if you're inclined to get a little deeper stretch right here, you can take that left hand, just reach it around by the pinky toe and sink down a little further. You can give the head and the neck and the shoulders a little wiggle. Just sink into that stretch. Soften the breath and let go. And when you're ready, let's make our way into the other side. But if this side is feeling especially good to you, feel free to stay here. When you're ready, just start to unwrap that front hand. Slide back and let's get a nice stretch across that front leg. And if you can, try to lengthen up to the spine right here. And you can either flex through that left heel or you can point the toe. Either way. Just thinking about opening up across the backside there. And when you're ready on an inhale, come forward into your lunge. That's what you're trying to avoid there, is that knee beyond the toe. You want to come always into a nice straight line there to keep that angle so there's not any pressure on the front of the knee. Now just walk to the other side. And again, you're going to find your lunge. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Try to draw the weight out of the fingertips into the belly, and the chest is nice and long. So you're going to feel that balance of strength and flexibility. And on an exhale, drop the back knee down and curl the toe under. Inhale, lengthen. And again, you can walk the hands to that inner thigh of that right leg. And if you're so inclined, you can wrap that right hand around by the pinky toe. Just sink forward and let go and release in that hip. Drop the head and neck. Stopping anywhere along the way at any of the variations that we do. When you're ready, slowly unwrap that back hand and just slide the hip back. And again, you can flex through that heel or point the toe right here, whatever you're comfortable with. You're just working on straightening out through the front of that leg. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale. As you exhale, slowly release. And we're just going to come over and down onto your rear end, onto your mat. Get a little sand off of me. You're going to find yourself in a cross-legged seated pose. So you're going to start to let the back side of the hips and the rear end open up and unfold here. And if you are inclined to come into a half lotus with one foot on top, feel free to. You either want the foot on top or the foot out in front. We're just going to take a few deep belly breaths, lengthening through the spine. Exhale and relax the shoulders. You want to just draw your gaze kind of down to the floor right out in front of you. You can give the head and the neck a little wiggle to the sides, relax the shoulders. Lengthening through the spine on the inhale. And as you exhale, you can come forward into those cupped fingertips into the hands. Get a little deeper stretch right here. And you're just going to remember which foot you put in front or on top. We're going to come back to this pose and put the other one there. You're going to take a few bows as you exhale, round through the shoulders and drop the head down and feel that stretch deepen across the back side, the rear end, up the spine, the back of the neck. And then take a deep belly breath, inhale and draw that chin all the way up to the sky. And exhale, fold down one more time. Nice deep exhalation. And let's get a stretch for the spine in the opposite direction. So as you inhale, come up nice and tall. You're just going to walk those hands back behind you and take a deep belly breath. Inhale, open up to the sky. It doesn't matter which direction the fingertips turn in, whatever's comfortable for you and your wrists. Now, if you want to really deepen the stretch of the hips, squeeze the rear end and lift those hips up off the floor. You're going to feel a nice stretch down that inner thigh through the quads. As you exhale, sink hips come back down. We're just going to start to walk those feet out, and let's give them a little shake. Just straighten them out, a little shake and a wiggle. You can rock the toes in and out. I like to think of this as a little reset button for the knees, the ankles. Sometimes they can tend to get a little tight, so we're working especially through all those lunging poses. So we're going to just shake them out a little bit. Now you want to come back with that opposite foot either in front or on top right here. And you're just going to give those sit bones a little wiggle again. Find your balance. You can lift the flesh off the sit bones so that you can sit up nice and tall. Lengthen through the spine. You're going to come forward a little bit. Just nice and gently as you come into those cupped fingertips. Start to take a few breaths here to really let go and loosen up and release through that lower body. We spend so much time of our lives sitting in chairs with our feet straight out in front of us in our couches, in our cars, that sometimes to unfold and open up our hips, it's unnatural to sit like this. So take some time to really let that area open up and unfold. And if you want to take the stretch a little further, just walk those fingertips out a little further. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. If you'd like to take a few bows in the pose, exhale, fold forward and drop the head. Feel the stretch up the back side of the neck. A little bit deeper on that top leg this time as you switch sides. Take a deep belly breath, inhale up. And exhale and fold. So whatever foot is on top that you switch to or in front will get the deeper stretch in this pose. And when you're ready, inhale, we're going to come all the way up. And again, just walk those hands back behind. Open the chin and chest to the sky. And again, lift the hips up if you'd like to deepen the stretch. Just squeeze to the rear end. That's a great little stretch across the front of the thighs. But it is challenging for the knees, so only come up if you're comfortable right here. And then you'll notice if you squeeze to the rear end just a little bit, that will help open up into the stretch a little deeper. And then drop the sit bones down to the floor. And you're just going to settle back in. If it's more comfortable for you to put the other foot on top, go ahead and switch them out. We're just going to settle back in and do a little bit of meditation and final relaxation. Relax the shoulders down the spine. I'm going to rotate the palms of the hands up to the sky. And on an exhale, just sink that chin down towards the chest. Take a few deep belly breaths. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, relax the shoulders down. And as you drop that chin down to the chest, feel the length up the back side of the neck. Start to release and soften through the face. Relax the muscles across the forehead, the cheekbones, the jawline. As you're inhaling, the belly and chest rise and expand. As you're exhaling, the belly and chest sinks and contracts. Take your time in this pose to let go of all your busy thoughts, your busy day and week. Just let it roll right off your shoulders. There's nowhere to go. Nobody needs you. Nothing to do but stay present in this moment. Our minds are constantly racing as we move throughout our day. So as you're in this pose, your thoughts will come and go, but just let them. Don't place any weight to them. Just let them flow right through, not taking any time to focus or stop on any one thought. You're trying to create a little bit of space in between all those busy thoughts here. A little bit of peace and silence. A little bit of no thinking and just being. Start to listen to the body, feeling the sensation in the fingertips, soles of the feet. I'm going to take just a few more deep belly breaths here and start to open up a little deeper through the head and the neck and the shoulders. On an exhale, sink the chin all the way down into the chest and feel the back side of the neck open up. And on the inhale, you're going to lengthen up to the spine and draw that chin all the way up to the sky. Again, you can kiss the sky, pucker up. And exhale and release and drop that chin. As you come up and pucker up, you can draw the back teeth together, the molars together. You're going to get a deeper stretch of the thyroid gland across the throat, through the lips. Exhale and drop the chin. Let's come up one more time. Inhale. When you're ready, you're going to draw that chin back to the center and just turn as if you were looking over one shoulder. Relax the shoulders down the spine. And on an exhale, come back to the center and turn into that other side. And to move through the face a little bit here, you can raise up the eyebrows and release them and raise up the eyebrows. And on the exhale, release back to the center, soften through the face and come into that other side. Give yourself some time to open up through the throat, cross the clavicle, relax that opposite shoulder as the direction you're looking in. And again, you can raise up those eyebrows a little bit. Our yoga practice shouldn't stop at the neck. It's great to work the muscles to the face. When you're ready, move side to side. You have a lot of muscles in the face. So we're just going to add a few poses to relax any tension in the jawline and the face as we're moving here. So when you're ready, come back to the center, and this time we're going to rest an ear to a shoulder. And on the inhale, come back to the center and exhale into the other side. Just let that shoulder start to drop down and sink down. You're going to feel that stretch a little bit deeper across the back side and then still through the side of the neck. And when you're ready, just move side to side a few times. I'm going to draw that chin back to the center, and as you exhale, you're going to drop the chin to the chest. You're going to start with a big half circle. Just roll side to side. Take your time. And if you'd like to, you can come into a full circle all the way around, if you're comfortable. As you work through your neck, you may feel a few cricks and cracks. We don't normally move and get a lot of blood flowing through there, so it's kind of nice, but just make sure you don't feel any pain, any discomfort. When you're ready, drop the chin to the chest and move in the opposite direction. Just take your time. And on an exhale, we're going to sink the chin into the chest. Relax the shoulders. And draw the hands into the heart center. Take a few deep belly breaths. I'm going to do one more thing for the face. This is to open up the cheeks and the jawline, especially if you tend to clench your teeth at night or have a tight jaw, hold stress there. So you're just going to blow into one of your cheeks and blow it up like a balloon. And then switch that air to the other side. And you're just moving side to side. And it is a little silly at first, but it feels great to open up through the jaws and the cheeks. And when you're ready, just come back to the center, relax the shoulders. I'm going to drop the chin back down. I'm going to take a few deep belly breaths here. The eyes closed and soft. Take a deep belly breath, inhale up through center, reach the arms overhead. And as you exhale, let the hands drop to the sides, fingertips to the floor, and inhale into one side, into a nice side stretch. And exhale, release, and let's go into that other side. Just move with your own breath. Inhale, reach and stretch. And exhale and release. And take a deep belly breath. Inhale, bring those arms up overhead. And exhale, the hands come back down in the heart center. Relax the shoulders and drop the chin down. The eyes closed and soft. We're just going to take a few more deep belly breaths here. You feel free to stay as long as you'd like. I'm just going to leave you with my meaning of the term namaste. As you lay your ego down, I recognize the beauty within. As you live within the present moment, I am reminded of the joy of life. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.